Please tell me all the bad, never good. Fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts. I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong. I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth. Can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have it douse, not what I'm about. Have your f***ing cloud, it be raining now. I keep making sound, go another round. I'm legend bound, can't stop me now.
You don't wanna fuck with me. A slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Unscripted. What a time it is to be alive. Hopefully everybody is having one hell of a Thanksgiving. Real quick question, just so we can start this week off correctly. We got a new guy in, my boy Redbeard. Redbeard, give me a little shout out. Throw out your full name, throw out where they can find you. I know you're a streamer, you do your games, you're prophetic. Just give a little shout out of where people can find you and then where they can find your streaming.
Hey, what's going on? Redbeard here. I'm on Twitch, stream Twitch, Rocket League, Call of Duty. It's gonna be Redbeard407 is gonna be the Twitch name. Get on there, look it up, give a follow. I'm trying to build my stream, build it up right now.
Hey, watch this guy. He's got some good stuff, man. Honestly, I served in the military with this guy. He's top notch. He does everything but replace the toilet paper in the training room. What an asshole he was during that time period of my life. But no, listen.
Use it all.
Hey, what a time to be alive, man. Redbeard, thank you for being on. Gonzo, Redbeard, if you're not following Gonzo on Gonzo Sports Room, let me say it again. Gonzo Sports Room. The guy does everything from wrestling to BetLine to afternoon show to his own personal show. Chris, tell the man where he can find you outside of Gonzo's Sports Room, or even give him like what dates your shows are coming on so people can find you where you are, sir.
You can find me on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, all at Gonzo Sports Room. We have shows 3 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Fridays, Easy Money, a sports betting show. Monday and Fridays at 6, we have our Indianapolis Colts show. And then 11 p.m. Eastern, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we have Gonzo and the Judge Sports Talk. And then mixed in with between all that, on different days, we have interviews with pro wrestlers and some pro wrestling promoters.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Like I said, you can find Gonzo anything on All Sports, All Plays Network and Gonzo Sports Room, man. You can find that guy there. Hey, real quick, fellas, I'm going to tell you where you can find Jay. Typically, Monday through Friday, you can find Jay on aisle 13 at Walmart. That's where they keep the Depends diapers, trying to find those sales. And if you guys got any sales out there, please send them my way. I'm always looking for a really good discount. Outside of that, hey, fellas, you might see a graphic up on the screen right now. It might show a little Aaron Rodgers. It might say something to the effect of, I'm so happy that we didn't have to play against New England. Probably don't want to play against New England because you suck. Aaron Rodgers, you suck, and I'm telling it to your face. God, what a time to be alive. What a time to be alive. Instead of it being Aaron Rodgers getting the Patriots, it's going to be the Vikings that are getting the Patriots, and a guy named 5 Chains. You may also know him as Kirk Cousins from previous Washington Commanders. I think at the time they were the Redskins. But before we get into that real quick, I do want to get into a little NCAA football real fast. The biggest game ever. Look, nobody gives a damn about Saturday. Nobody. The only reason we care about Saturday is because it's a precursor to Sunday when we get to watch the Cowboys and all the rest of the guys go at it. But the one day or the one reason why Saturday looks good to us right now is because we get the Big Ten clash. We get to see the Titans go at it. Ohio versus Michigan, both undefeated. honestly, both of them have played absolutely unequivocally nobody this season, with the exception of Penn State. Both of them beat Penn State. I'll give them that much. They both beat Penn State. But again, who really cares if you beat Penn State or not? That's your only look. Your overall end all be all is the Big Ten clash, and if that's your season, if that's what we're measuring on, how soft is Michigan? How soft is Ohio? Because there's been several games we know for a fact that both have played that have been relatively some soft competition out there. I think last week was a really good example of how non-dominant Michigan and Ohio really are, because they really should have dominated the teams that they played, but they didn't. They had close games. There were some close games. I think Ohio, did win by like 11, but there were some close games. I will tell you this: Ohio is favored. The game's in Ohio. They are favored to win this game. But again, Gonzo, I'm going to start with you, then Redbeard, I'm going to get you. You got a guy like, Cullums going up against a guy like Stroud, because, Michigan is known for running, Ohio, a little bit more with the Stroud and the offense. But in my opinion, guys, I got to be honest with you, both their defenses are suspect. Both of them are suspect. So who do you have winning this game and why? Gonzo, you're up first. Who you got win Ohio, Michigan, and why?
Well, I'm still going back and forth in this game because I had Michigan winning the game, but with the Blake Corum injury, that kind of scares me going into this game, because if he's don't play or if he's not healthy, Michigan's going to struggle. And you saw that last week. First half of that game against Illinois, Michigan was looking pretty good. Corum got hurt, couldn't play in the second half, and then Michigan struggled to move the ball down the field. They had almost 100 yards rushing in the first half with him in there, and I think they had like 35 the rest of the game with their other running backs after he wasn't on the field. They're young. I think it's McCarthy's their young running back or quarterback. Excuse me. He played pretty. He made some plays in that second half to enough plays, I should say, to get that win. But I think if Blake Corum's not 100% healthy, I think Michigan's really going to struggle in this game. But I like Michigan's defense against the Ohio State offense. I've seen this Ohio State offense struggle against Notre Dame, seen them struggle against Maryland some. I think the Michigan defense can really slow this offense down, but I just don't know without a healthy Corum if Michigan will be able to score enough points. So just because Corum's not healthy, I lean toward Ohio State to win this game on Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, hey, I agree that the Corum injury obviously is huge. As a matter of fact, Redbeard, I actually said this ain't a game of quarterbacks going at each other. This is more a game of Stroud versus Corum, right? Strength versus strength. And now, like he said, if Corum can't play and Corum is out, well, then that really effectively, unless you could give me a different reason, that really does take Michigan out of it. What do you think?
I'll put it this way. You were talking about they both have easy schedules. I know Ohio State has the tougher schedule, say, by one game, with Notre Dame being in there. Michigan hasn't played Notre Dame. Now, Michigan's always had the run game. Corum's not in there. Ohio State's defense, it's give or take a game. Give or take a week. Michigan, same thing. Their defense is here and there. Now, Michigan, though, always been a run-heavy team the past few years, and I love watching Michigan play. They're fun, they're entertaining, and I think they might have actually turned a corner this year. And I pull Michigan by a touchdown, maybe field goal, on Saturday over Ohio.
I like that. And to really validate, in my mind, because I don't like to look 100% analytics, but I do. Anybody know Jay McLevin? I do draw a lot of analytics and things, and I do put some weight behind the stats. Because I feel like stats is a measurement. It has no basis of it if it likes you or it doesn't like you. A stat is just that. It's a stat. So when I look at this, when I look at Penn State, because really, truthfully, it's really all you can really draw off of, right? They're the only ranked team that either one of them have played before facing each other. And when I look at the Penn State game as an example of where each team is, and I understand sometimes you can have a bad day at the office. Sometimes you just have a bad day, but you still come away with the win. So that's why I don't want to put 100% weight behind it, but it is a measuring tool. So when I look at the Penn State game and I see Michigan beating Penn State to the tune of 41-17, and then I see Ohio doing 44-31, that does give me a little bit of a measurement on each one of those teams. I'm not saying it's an end-all, be-all, but it kind of gives you an idea of what we can expect. And that's why I expect the defense of Michigan to really do, and they're going to have to. If Stroud doesn't play, if Corum doesn't play, for the love of God, Michigan's defense is going to have to pull out one hell of a gem. Would you agree? Before I go to Gonzo, Redbeard, would you agree on that, or how do you feel about that?
I'd agree 100%. I mean, you look at statistically, you look at the passing yards between C.J. Stroud and I completely spaced right now on the Michigan quarterback. I'm sorry, McCarthy. You look at McCarthy's stats. You look at the yardage that they've passed this year. Ohio State has been a heavy passing team. Michigan's relied heavily on the run. Without McCorum there, it's going to be big time difficulties, I think, for Michigan, unless they can step up on the passing game.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Gonzo, one thing we know is this is a rematch from 2021, right? Michigan won 42-27. So now we're in 2022. It's a rematch. It's the grudge match. You gotta know the amount of hatred that is on there is probably so heavy that if you went back to Ghostbusters when the slime was under New York, you could just imagine how much the hatred has got to be between these two teams. By the way, Redbeard, I know you like that metaphor when I went back to Ghostbusters. Yeah, you can use that anytime you want, but please make sure I get credit, please. But no, Ohio, hey, look, Ohio was number 2 last year. They came away with Bupkis, right? Michigan took them out. Now we get the rematch this year, Gonzo. When I tell you, again, when you look at the offensive line, you got to know that the receivers and possibly the quarterback advantage Ohio. And a matter of fact, to the point where if you look at total yards allowed, Michigan actually wins that at 241.3. If you look at total yards, period, on offense, then Ohio gets it, right? So Ohio's got 492, and Michigan is right 360, 370. And then you look at points allowed. Well, Michigan allows the least. So you got the guy who's giving you the most versus the guy who gives you the least. And the guy that gives you the least is coming off of a win last year over you. So now what do you put on this freaking showdown? Do you still give the advantage to Ohio because of the Corum injury, or how are you looking at it?
Oh man, it sucks because Jim Harbaugh's keeping the injury report so close to his vest, not letting nothing out on if Corum's playing or if he's not going to play. It just scares me because it was a knee injury. And so even if he does try to play, is he still going to be able to make those cuts like he normally can if that knee's not right? So because of that and the game being at Ohio State, I kind of lean toward Ohio State now, even though I like the Michigan defense. But if they can't get that run game going, I think they're going to really struggle.
Again, I'm with you. Hey, listen, I want Michigan to pull the win out. And the only reason I want
Michigan to win is I hope.
Hey, the only reason I know, trust me, I think we all kind of do, because the only reason I want Michigan to pull this upset off is because I'm sick and tired of people putting Ohio in there. When I look at Ohio, it's kind of soft. And I'm like, but yeah, they got Ohio locked in as the favorite to go to the championship title game. And I'm like, whatever, man. Okay. So I guess I'm just going, I like Michigan. I like the underdog. I really like the underdog now that Corum is possibly going to play or not play, because if Michigan wins without Corum, then that's really going to be a statement game of Michigan over Ohio. I mean, seriously, I don't know how much more of a statement game you could make not having your strength in the game to help you. I mean, that's insane. Michigan, let's go. Jesus Christ. Saturday's even getting better for me by the minute. Okay, I'm going to give you a game, and all I want is the winner. You tell me who the winner is in this game. Clemson, South Carolina. Gonzo, who do you got?
I'm going to go with Clemson.
Redbeard.
Clemson.
Yeah, I'm going to go Clemson as well. Even though South Carolina did have a really phenomenal game against Tennessee. Who? By the way, I don't like speaking bad about Tennessee because they did get the Volunteers to the Alamo. So I do have a warm spot in my heart for Tennessee as a Texan.
But that was right after.
But, yeah, I know, right?
Right after South Carolina got embarrassed by Florida.
No, yeah, but I am going to go Clemson in this game as well. Auburn, Alabama. God, what a time to be alive. Gonzo, Auburn, Alabama.
I'm going to go Alabama.
Redbeard?
Auburn with the upset.
I'm going with Auburn with the upset, too. I feel another Ole Miss just dangling in the weeds. Just dangling in the weeds. What a time to be alive. LSU over A&M. Do you see that? Or do you see A&M over LSU? I got LSU, and I'm an A&M. I like A&M. I'm a Texas UT guy, but and this one, I would have liked to see A&M kind of do a bounce back and get back into it. And I'd also really want TCU not to get bounced out because of the SEC showdown, and I don't know if LSU is going to win that. And I feel like if LSU, well, that's a whole other game or whatever. Let's just stick to the topic ahead because I'll go down that rabbit hole. LSU, A&M, I got LSU. Gonzo?
LSU.
Redbeard?
We go lone wolf on this one. I'm going to take A&M over LSU. They took Alabama to the edge earlier this season.
It's your badass Irish self. Fucking love you. I'll give you a kiss tomorrow when I come see you. Right there at Magic Mountain in Orlando with the motherfucking pretzel, some mustard, maybe a little bit of soda on the side. I don't know, Redbeard. We're going to play it loosey-goosey. Next game, USC versus Notre freaking Dame. Number 6 versus number 18. USC is just too damn powerful. Nothing against the fighting Irish, but too damn powerful. I got USC. Gonzo?
I like USC as well.
Redbeard?
USC, Notre Dame's overrated.
All right. I'm only mentioning this game only because, hey, I feel like, I don't give a damn if you're at number 1 or if you're at number 9,099. On any given Sunday, anybody can freaking win if you want it bad enough. Anybody can win if you want it bad enough. Tennessee game was probably one of the best examples of that. And then we saw what Alabama's done this year. Another good example of that. So I'm only mentioning this game because, some people might think there might be an upset out there. I don't think it's going to happen, but hey, it could. Especially when it's an in-state rivalry game. Georgia Tech, Georgia. You know where Georgia stands. I'm going to go UGA is going to get the win on the obvious. But I'm going to tell you right now, with every ounce of my body, I would love to see Georgia Tech just pull this fucking upset out. Let's go. Let's go. But again, that's the personal side. Gonzo, man, Georgia Tech.
Georgia.
Okay. All right, hold on now, Redbeard. Before you just spout out your answer, I know what you're going to spout out, but let me ask you this, man. Look, Georgia was, that's Ray Charles, man. That's some Ray Charles. Oh, Georgia, on my mind. But even Ray would like to see an upset. What do you got? Georgia Tech.
I don't think Ray would have been able to see the upset.
Oh, man.
That's why you're on the show, Gonzo, to keep me in check.
As much as it pains to say it as a Florida fan, I'm going to have to pull Georgia on this one.
Yeah, man. Again, so that's hey, look, that's how we see this playing out. We'll see what happens. We'll see if any upsets could possibly happen. Look, I don't know if you guys really watch college football a lot, but there have been some upsets this year. So let's not say that the upset wagon can't happen, right? It can happen. Hey, you never know. All right, folks. Hey, we're gonna move on real quick. And we're going to get on to the next subject matter of the NFL. We already know the Lions. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did the Lions win today or they lose today?
They lost.
It's by a field goal. They lost by a field. I think the Bills came back towards the end. Matter of fact, they got the last drive. 23 seconds, they got the field goal. God, what a time to be alive. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I really wanted the Bills to lose that just to see them further go down the totem pole of life. But hey, they won. Hey, but I'll tell you this. Hey, Williams as a running back for Detroit played phenomenally, and I think this Lions team, if they continue to add pieces here and there, they're going to be something to mess with come next year. Would you guys agree with that?
Yeah, I think they're building in the right direction. I really do. They got a lot of weapons on offense. That St. Brown, that receiver, had a hell of a game as well. And actually, Jared Goff played a pretty good game today. If your kicker don't miss a field goal earlier in the game, you might have been able to hold on and win that game. And Badgley,
absolutely.
Badgley hadn't missed all year and missed. And then, no, I like what Detroit's doing. They're definitely building in the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we go to the next game, Redbeard, did you want to say anything about the Lions or the Bills or what you thought about the game?
Honestly, it was a damn good game. Buffalo, of course, we all know where Buffalo's coming from. The Von Miller, where he got carted off the field, how's that going to affect Buffalo's defense in the long run? Number 2, Detroit, the coaching. There is coaching problems there. I'm sure they're going to get that all figured out because they left way too much time on the clock for the Bills. And number 3, I know I'll catch a lot of flack for this, but Stafford must have been the problem in Detroit. As great as Stafford plays, Detroit's look better now than they have in years.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. I mean, again, and I don't know if it was so much, we can't really put that on Stafford. I put the turnaround on Dan Campbell. I think they could have done the same thing with Stafford. I really do. I mean, Stafford's a good quarterback. I don't think Goff is better than Stafford or vice versa. I think just having that coaching change and bringing a guy like Dan Campbell, and now Dan Campbell is starting to implement what Dan Campbell is doing, now we're seeing the fruits of that labor. But, again, when a guy gives Megatron and makes Megatron and Stafford the number 1 wide receiver threat known to the NFL. If you don't believe me, go look at the single season stat record that's held by Megatron, and then you let me know who the quarterback was, and we can have a conversation. So, I mean, I think Dan Campbell, man, the change of leadership that Dan Campbell has brought to this Lions organization is just incredible. It's incredible.
I'll agree on that one.
So let's move on real quick. We got the Cowboys and we got the Giants up for grabs right now. It looks like we're right at about 4:31. So next few minutes we should have that game. Dable.
They're doing the national anthem now.
Hey, are they doing the national? All right, we'll take a moment of silence for national anthem. All right, man. Abso-freaking-lutely, man. So now we get the Cowboys versus the Giants. Dable. Hey, look, that's another guy, man. Honestly, hey, Dable, I wish the Cowboys had a coach like Dable. I really like Dable. I like what he did out there with Buffalo. I like what he's brought into this Giants organization. And the fact that he has taken that same organization from last place last year, or damn near last place, to basically third place, but only third place by default because they have a tied schedule or a tied record, I should say. I mean, look what Dable has done to that franchise. I mean, he has literally injected life back into the New York Giants. And so is Saquon Barkley staying healthy. Another great thing for them. The only thing that's really hurting the Giants from really truly going anywhere, and why I think the Giants don't win today, is because a lot of their wide receiver threats have either been traded, aka Kadarius Toney, to the Chiefs, or B, hurt like Robinson was a game ago. So I think the biggest issue for the Giants is their receiving core, and I think that's what's going to give them the loss today, is just the lack of being able to, really truly get that wide receiver one out there and do the job. So they're going to have to do a heavy dose of Saquon. And can Saquon produce at that heavy dose level, given the Dallas Cowboys defense? And we know what the Dallas Cowboys defense did last week against the Vikings, who have arguably a damn good running back in Dalvin Cook. Gonzo, who do you got winning the turkey leg today, baby? And why?
I think the Cowboys win the game, and basically for about the same reasons as you. The Giants just don't have enough weapons on the outside to throw the ball to right now. I think that's something they're going to have to work on in the offseason. I think the key to the game, for the Dallas Cowboys is going to be is stopping the run. You have to slow down Saquon. If you let Saquon get going, that's the only chance the Giants are going to have. And it's going to be interesting to see if how this the Cowboys offense looks against the Giants defense, who has their defense has played pretty decent this year, kept them in a lot of games. I think it could be a kind of a close game like it was last time these two teams played, but I ultimately think Dallas gets to win. I just think they have more weapons than what the Giants do at this time.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Damien says Bills are going to struggle without. Well, of course they're going to struggle without Von Miller. It's only like your number one defensive guy you have left of injury, since your secondary has been decimated with injuries. So, yeah, not having Von Miller there. And I don't know how long Von Miller is going to be out for. I know they were doing MRIs on his knee. We have not got the official word, so we'll have to wait and see exactly the extent of Von Miller's injury. But, yeah, of course it's going to hurt the Bills. There's a lot of things hurting the Bills. They squeaked by today and got the win, but there's a lot of things hurting them. Secondly, though, when we look at this Dallas team, like he said, with Kadarius Toney not there anymore, with the wide receiver core, Redbeard, how do you look at the Cowboys and Giants?
I mean, Giants have been hot this year. Dallas has been hot, cold. And both of them sitting at 7-3 records this year. I'd honestly take it as a toss-up right now on this one. I mean, does Saquon break free and run incredible today? Does Dallas's defense shut down Saquon? That, to me, is going to be the biggest matchup of the day right there.
Oh, yeah, and exactly. So to build off of what you're saying, who do you think has the more yardage today, Saquon or Pollard?
I'd go Saquon.
Gonza, who has more yardage, Saquon or Pollard?
I'm gonna go Saquon as well, because I think they're gonna lean more on Saquon, where Dallas sometimes can get a little bit more pass happy.
I call bullshit. I think you're saying Saquon just because you like saying the name Saquon. It's a cool name to say, Saquon. Just say it like 2 times, Saquon, Saquon. It's a cool name to say. Anybody who has Quan. If you watch Jerry Maguire, anybody who has the name Quan in your name, yeah, you want the Quan. It's all about the Quan. Real quick. All right, now we're gonna go. We're gonna go winners, losers. Just tell me what you think. Cowboys, Giants. Who you got, Gonzo?
Cowboys.
Redbeard.
As I said, it's a toss-up, but I may have to pull the Giants on this one.
Freaking hate you. I got Cowboys. Can you just say one, you son of... All right, Patriots, Vikings. Let's talk about that real quick. We know what the Vikings did against the Cowboys. We know the Patriots came off a close game with the Jets. Patriots, Vikings. I'm going Vikings. I just feel like, I think the Cowboys brought it to them, but I do think in some respects that the Vikings did have a bad office day. So I'm not going to hold that 100% against them, But again, we did get the win, so it is what it is. Take it and leave it. But the Vikings and Patriots, hey, I do not want the Patriots to win for a myriad of reasons. One would be pride in Frankie, never hearing the end of it. My DMs will be blowing up. And secondly, I just don't like the Patriots. And the more I see them lose, the better I feel. So, but again, for a lot of reasons, right? For a lot of reasons, I got the Vikings over the Patriots. Do you guys see it differently, Gonzo?
No, I like the Vikings as well. I think the Vikings is the better team. I think the Patriots going to have a little trouble slowing down this Vikings offense. I know people are going to say, but it's Kirk Cousins on prime time, and they don't have a good record. But also, most teams, after you get embarrassed like the Vikings did last week, most teams come back and play a lot better the next week. So I look for the Vikings to come out and try to make a statement of their own tonight. So I like the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt about it, man. No doubt about it. Redbeard, man, what are you thinking, man? Vikes, Patriots? Are you going to go against the grain on this one and pick the Patriots?
Oh, no. I can't stand the Patriots. I mean, that plus their record this season speaks for itself on the Patriots alone. They've been very up and down. And I honestly don't even know the quarterback situation that's going on right now. It changes almost every other week, it seems like.
Right.
So I'd honestly have to pull on Minnesota on this one. Minnesota's been hot this year, and I think they could first, second round playoffs, maybe even possibly a deep playoff run this year for the Vikings.
Let me ask you guys by a show of hands. Raise your hand if you think the Patriots will get to the Super Bowl without an offensive coordinator. Because we know, and I say that because we know Patricia and Judge are not offensive-minded guru guys. So let's be honest. Without a true offensive coordinator, do the Patriots make it back to the Super Bowl? Raise your hand for yes, they will make it back, or just keep it down. No, you know what? Give me a hands up, like if you think they will make it back, and you can give me the middle finger on the way down if you think if they won't make it. Kid. Yes, no. What are we looking at? Gonzo, what are we looking at? You give the thumbs up. It's okay. Look, finger gestures are okay. Look, just do it like this. I know that that's a middle finger. It's okay. It's a sideways middle finger. Nobody can, like, they can't say nothing about that. That's a sideways middle finger. And this is if you believe. So no and yes, they'll make it back. What do you think? No, this is not Hal Hitler. This is just raise my hand.
No,
Gonzo.
No, I don't think they're going to make it back. I think they have more problems.
Okay, you could have did this. I would have understood this. Just do like,
there you go.
Okay, thank you, God. Jesus Christ. Melanie. Hey, you're a first grade teacher. Come over here and give old Gonzo here some teacher referendum.
Hey, you guys speak Spanish.
It's okay. It's all good. Never mind. Don't worry about it, Mel. You're okay. Don't beat up Gonzo. He's small and fragile. He's got a cane. But secondly, we go back. I love you, Gonzo. Redbeard, hand motion. That's all I care about. I'm deaf right now. I can't hear a damn thing, but I can see it. Yes or no. And you know what the no looks like. Give me the no or the yes. Patriots make it back. There you go. Enough said. All right, we're going to move on, folks. We're going to move on. Hey, at this point now, we're just in a yes or no. Not a yes or no. It's just a what team you think wins. And again, I put these teams on here only because of the fact they actually have something on the line. Let me explain what I'm saying to you. Patriots have something on the line, right? Jets have something on the line. Each one of them are trying to get into second place. The next battle would be Tampa and the Falcons. You know, Tampa and Falcons, there's like a half game apiece separation between who can declare number one in the division and most likely who will just be nothing. Because if the Falcons, whoever comes in second behind the first place, their record is not strong enough to get a wild card. So the only thing coming out of that division, which I think is the NFC South division, would be the divisional winner. Everybody else, they just suck ass. So, with that being said, Jets, Bears, Gonzo.
Jets and the Bears. Ooh.
Mind you, Mike. Hey, and you know Wilson's not playing. They got Mike White as their quarterback.
I'm gonna go with the Jets because of their defense. I think they're gonna slow that Bears offense down. Plus, Justin Fields has a hurt shoulder.
All right, locked you in. Red Beard, Jets Bears.
This one's tough. Honestly, Bears. I'd like to see the Bears do it. I'd like to see them pull it off somehow, squeak into the playoffs this year. So I'm gonna pull for the Bears on this one.
Right. I got Jets, Mike Carter as my running back in fantasy, and I got Conklin, I think that's how you say his name, the tight end from the Jets. So I'm going for the Jets, but I expect the Bears. I just think and I say that only because Mike White, I don't know enough about Mike White to make a formidable decision on whether or not he can actually pull this team out. But we all know what Justin Fields kind of brings. We all know what Montgomery brings. We all know what the Bears defense will bring against the Jets, especially with the unproven quarterback that we don't know a whole hell of a lot about. So just because I don't know enough about Mike White and how he's going to perform, I'm going to go with the Bears for that reason. Secondly, we got the Packers, Eagles. Obviously, the Eagles are trying to maintain that lead. They got right now, I believe, a 2-game lead over the Cowboys and Giants. So right now, for that reason, I put that game in here, and I want the Packers or need the Packers to win just to knock the Eagles down a peg or two. But realistically, I got the Eagles winning. Gonzo?
I'll go Eagles.
Redbeard.
Typical Cowboys fan running down the Eagles.
Hey, listen, I am a Cowboys fan. Of course I'm going against the Eagles. What am I supposed to do?
Eagles, of course, they're coming off a loss against the Commanders. They're coming off of the very, very tight game against the Colts. I think the Eagles are going to come out swinging, take out the Packers on this one, especially with the way Rodgers and the entire Packers offense has been playing this year.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Now, this is where it gets a little interesting. Again, I told you Tampa Bay is only a half game up over the Falcons right now for that division. So they literally are fighting for their playoff lives because whoever gets the number 2 spot, they're done. They don't have the record to compete to get the wild card. So, and again, both of them are playing pretty evenly compromised games, I think. You got Tampa against the Browns. I'm going to go with Tampa only because I still feel like I don't like to go against Brady, and I don't like Brissett as a quarterback, even though, quote unquote, I need Brissett to have an amazing day because Brissett, I do have Amari Cooper and Peoples-Jones as my wide receivers in fantasy football. So while I need the Browns to have a kick-ass game, I do see Tampa still taking the win. Gonzo. Tampa. Yeah, I can understand that. Redbeard, who you got?
Cleveland.
Woo! All right. Go Cleveland. The last game that we're going to go into the last segment, we're out of 5,000, is Falcons and Commanders. I actually had the Falcons as my defense, so I'm praying the Falcons can pull off a stunning upset against Heineke and McLaurin and who else is out there? Gibson. Gibson is a running back. So who are you guys looking at, man? Falcons or Commanders? Gonzo?
I like the Commanders.
Commanders?
I like the way the Commanders have looked with Taylor Heineke back there at quarterback. That offense has looked a lot more in sync, and their defense has been playing a little bit better the last couple of weeks. So I like the Commanders.
Yeah, and the funny thing about it is, Washington loves it because, like I said, if it's 70% or less of the snaps, then the Commanders only got to give the Colts a third round. But if it's 70% or more, then the Commanders got to give you a second round. So, it behooves them to not, right?
Jay, I got to ask you a question. Did you just see what the Cowboys did?
No, I was talking to you. What did they just do?
They went for it on 4th down and from their own 35, 40-yard line.
I did.
Didn't get it and gave the ball to the Giants. Why the hell are you going for it?
Let's move on before I have a puke moment. 12 o'clock, 35.
How about that?
Toilet's about 10 feet away. I don't think I can make it. So let's get through this as humanly possible. I know you chose the Commanders. Redbeard, do you feel the same, or are you going the Falcons?
I feel the same way with the Commanders. They've been surprisingly strong this year, and they're in a very strong division.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the fact that Dable's about to throw a blood vessel because that touchdown got called back. Hey, I'm going to tell you once. I'm going to tell you twice. They put a hole in the Cowboys Stadium so God could make the final call. And God said, hell no. No touchdown. No touchdown.
I thought that was to let the stink of Prescott out.
Hey, maybe so. Okay, we're not. Hey, that may be subject for debate. Hey, look, man. Hey, last thing we're gonna do, we're gonna get out of here. A couple of things I want to touch on real quick. Arizona Cardinals assistant was fired for groping a woman. What a time to be alive. So let me understand this right. You're out there in Mexico City. You're the offensive line coach / running game coordinator, Sean Kugler, who, by the way, is 56 freaking years old. The allegation is that he groped a woman in Mexico City on Sunday night, and by Monday morning, he was on the first plane smoking back out, and they fired him. He's the second Cardinals assistant, by the way, that was accused of assaulting a woman this year. May, which was the running back coach, John Saxon, was accused then. So you got the running back coach, the offensive line coach / game coordinator, both accused of groping a woman all in the same year. How much better does football get than this, gentlemen? I mean, is this where we are now? Is that where the NFL has gone? Is that we just sexually assault women left, right, up, or down? Because every time I turn on the TV screen, whether it be an offensive coordinator, a quarterback, a head coach, a GM, an NFL owner, somebody out there is sexually assaulting these women. Gonzo, real quick, what's your thought process, man? Is this where we are as the state of the league? Is we're just a bunch of sexually assaulting people? Is that what we are as the NFL?
I think honestly, it's been like that for a long time in almost all pro sports. It's just now with social media and the way things are now, you hear about it more than what we used to hear about it.
Right. No, I agree. Anyway, we're going to move on from that. Red Beard, man, what's your thought process, man? Is this where the NFL is now? They're just a bunch of sexually assaulting people from the NFL ownership all the way down to the damn coordinators, to the players. I mean, is this the reputation that they want to have?
I'll put it this way. It's a damn shame to see it all the time now, almost. I mean, you look at it, you see the coaches are almost fired immediately. The owners are being forced to sell the teams. Why aren't the players being held to the same standards?
Yeah.
Look at Deshaun Watson. He's only suspended, half the season, and he's able to come back. I mean, how's that you look at what technically Deshaun Watson did compared. I mean, it's equally as bad, if not worse, than what was done down in Mexico City. They need to be holding the players to the same accountable as the owners, as the coaches. They do it, they're gone. No chance of coming back, no chance of playing ever again in football.
Oh, absolutely. Trust me. And I totally 100% agree with you. The last thing is one question, and we are out the door. The last thing I wanted to ask you guys in week 12, we know quarterback Davis Mills was benched for Kyle Allen with the Texans. We know that Wilson has been, quote-unquote, benched for White in what they say is a supposed reset for Wilson. And then we had Mayfield that got benched for Darnold. Out of those three benchings, who has the most success this week? Does Allen, White, or Darnold? Those are your three choices. Out of those three quarterbacks, who has the most success in week 12? Gonzo.
I'm gonna go with White for the Jets.
Okay. Redbeard.
Out of those three, I'd have to say White with the Jets.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've seen Darnold, and there's nothing about Darnold that makes me even quote unquote even remotely a little bit happy. So by default, I'm going to go with White as well with the Jets. I think White is going to have the best game out of the three replacements in Week 12. Guys, that's the show. That's it. That's all I got. I ain't got no more. Redbeard, man, I love you, my brother. I love you since day one at Fort Stewart. We met up, we hooked up. He's my boy. His actual real name is Dustin. I love the guy. And, man, thank you, man, number one, for coming out and hanging out and talking with us on Thanksgiving when you could obviously be spending this time away from the family. Thank you for donating your time with us. My boy, Gonzo Gonzalez from GSR Sports Room. Thank you for taking time away from your family to spend with me talking about football. Man, I love you guys. Final thoughts. We're out the door. Redbeard, I'm going to give you option one. Final thoughts before we out the door. Anything you want to say at all, sir?
Keep an eye on the Jaguars. They're trending in the right direction this year. And hopefully it stays that way.
Hey, I appreciate that. I'm just going to go MJF a little on you when he was talking to Tony Khan. We don't give a fuck.
Oh, you got to play MJF.
Hey, if you haven't seen MJF go off on Tony Khan, it is quite the epic scenario. And we all know who the best is, don't we, MJF? Apparently.
That's fun.
I don't do a lot of wrestling. That's probably why Gonzo's laughing, because I made an MJF reference on this show. He knows I know how much I know about wrestling. But
CM Punk is definitely not the best. Currently best in the world right now, I'll say, is MJF.
Hey, after what I saw with him and Tony Khan, hey, I take all commands from the tower. From Chris, Gonzo Gonzalez, man, final thoughts, brother, before we get out of here.
Just everybody enjoy your Thanksgiving. It's been we have already had one good football game. Hoping to have two more. Want to eat some food and relax.
Absolutely. By the way, the current score on the Cowboys is 3-0. New York did wind up getting the field goal, but Zeke just put out a real nice 6 or 7 yard run. So Cowboys are on the move. And again, everybody happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the time with your families. It only comes once a year that we get to sit down all at the same table, look at each other in the face, and say, God, you've grown. God, you've gotten uglier. That's usually them looking at me. And I say, hey, it is what it is. What do you want me to do? I'm 50 freaking years old. I got dementia, whatever. Hey, no, seriously, happy Thanksgiving. I appreciate everybody taking the time out. Unscripted will be back Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. And then you can catch Gonzo a lot of the times throughout the weekend with his wrestling podcast. And then we got Monday afternoon, 1 o'clock. Everybody's back talking what happened over the weekend and who got put in jail, who beat who up, and yeah, all that kind of jazz. Y'all be good. We out of here. By the way, World Cup, the hell you doing? Take away the damn alcohol from the peasants only to get their friend champagne to the upper echelon. What a time to be alive. We out of here. It's your boy, Jay.